Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. I'm Shivani, and this is where we talk about August astrology. We are diving deep into the major transits of August, but I want to kickstart off by introducing you to the energy of August because ideally, how I want you to use these videos is to just have a heads up about what's coming so that many times we are caught up in this resistance of like we're trying to move forward when we are meant to be slower, when we are meant to respond, when we are meant to receive, and we're trying to many times uh, hold ourselves back when the time is to propel forward. So with these videos I want to make it easier for you to stay in alignment, to stay in flow with the cosmic energy instead of trying to go against the flow, instead of trying to go to create more resistance, and we all just know how that feels like, okay? So August energy is obviously it's Leo season for the majority of it, so we are going to continuing the theme of empowerment, power, expression, our voice. And this is really this energy of coming into your own, letting yourself be seen, letting yourself be heard, and remembering that it's, yes, it can be vulnerable. It doesn't mean that it's easy, it doesn't mean that it has to be like strong. And uh, like this is a big realization that's coming through for me, and I feel for the collective as well, that power does not just look a certain way. I think we have been very used to seeing power in a very masculine, that I would say also in a very distorted masculine way of like shielded or wearing an armor or pretending. Whereas actual empowerment, actual energy of power is actually transparency, honesty, vulnerability, owning up. That's what shadow work is really about. It's owning your shadows. It's not trying to conceal, to hide, to pretend. I feel like the full moon in Aquarius has done a fantastic job. I'm making this video on 2nd August, but alright, on 1st August we've had the full moon in Aquarius, and of course the energies are continuing to bring through it. But there is going to be collectively this energy of letting yourself be seen, be heard, be loved, be in power through the act of softness. And I feel like this is also such a beautiful merging of the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies, as within so without, where we really get to see the different tonality of power. Because I have been noticing for myself, there has been a lot of rage coming in at the masculinity, at the masculine energy, at the masculine experiences that I've had. And um and I feel like our distorted version of the masculine that we have observed, experienced, even lived through, even I have radiated a lot of distorted masculine energy out of me. So it's not like I'm just a feminine who has suffered the rot of the the masculine energy. I have also been somebody who has projected that energy outside. So we are really like being shown in all different ways. For all of us, it can look just so different in our workplace, in our relationships, particularly actually a lot in our relationships right now, because we do have Venus retrograde up until September in the sign of Leo. So we're going to continue learning our lessons through our relationships. So relationship triggers are a very common theme right now. Don't take it so personally. Of course, know when it's time to make a decision, to take uh, to draw a line, to draw boundaries. But also I feel like they're really teaching this Venus retrograde spirit is teaching us so much about owning our shadows, so much about owning our power, so much about owning our needs in our relationships and our connections. And obviously when I say relationships, it's not just personal relationships, it's all relationships, okay? We would not have successful businesses, we would not have successful jobs if we cannot learn to have successful relationships. We are learning how to literally be with people, how to operate and how to behave, uh, how to just be with people. And because we do have a lot of trauma and triggers around that space, and that just creates a lot of resistance for the collective evolution, for the for all the beautiful, fantastic things that we want to do and create out in the world. Uh, our insecurities and our fears and our wounds kind of like get in the way when we try to do that. So this is really a beautiful period because Karen is also retrograde. To take it like a to like, I'm not asking you to hold back, but I'm asking you to allow things to take their time to simmer and to do what they need to do, the feelings, what they need to do, the recognitions, the realizations, to let them play out. You know, we do have planets in retrograde, and the second half of August is going to have even Uranus and even Mercury going retrograde. So yes, if you want to do something new, I would advise you to do it in the first half of August up until 15th August. If you later on after 15th August, I would suggest you to take that time in a more reflective pace, or to do a complete task which have been incomplete, or which have been like projects which are undone, or anything that you would want to review, reanalyze, because we'll be jumping into the Virgo season. We'll have the Mercury retrograde in Virgo season. We know, I mean, we're going to talk all about that, but just giving you a little summary of what we are going to dive into. But yes, the first half is definitely a preferable time to get something new rolling in, to get something new started, to to share something out in the world. And the second half is great to complete what was not completed before, and take it in whichever area you would want to take it as. Yes. So let's start. Yeah, basically August is this really empowering energy, but in a way that we have not known so much. And I've been talking about this here and there every time because it's just the collective theme right now. Really understanding this power of softness, the power of the feminine energy. Doesn't matter if you're a masculine or a feminine by gender. We're not talking about genders here. We're talking about the energy, the feminine energy of faith, the feminine energy of rest, the feminine energy of pleasure, the feminine energy of creativity. This world is starving, and we need that energy. And whatever is playing out and panning out right now, it's reclaiming the feminine. And I don't think it's just the feminines reclaiming the feminine, it's also the masculine reclaiming the feminine within them. Because I feel like a lot of time we think that we like to blame the masculine energy, but you have to make a distinction between the distorted masculine and the embodied and the divine masculine, right? So many times what we really want to say, what we really want to be angry at, is the distorted masculine. And I want to say that even if you're a man, or even if you're a masculine, energetically or actually literally on this incarnated on this earth as a masculine, you have also gone through that phase of feeling the wrath of the distorted masculine. So it's hurt the masculine energy just as much as it has hurt the feminine energy. Yeah, that's how I want to kickstart the August. I know we have this really glittery expectations of the Leo season. And yes, I'm not saying that we're not gonna have a blast. We're not gonna like literally play on some sexy music. That is the vibe for sure. But like today I was about to post an Instagram story, and I was really gonna write like, damn, nothing feels sexier than emerging out of a full moon where you've owned your shadows. And especially I was on my moon cycle coinciding with the full moon, and wow, because my moon is also in Aquarius, this has really been a period of owning all of my shadows when it comes to opening my heart. So essentially this August is also about opening your heart, because that's what the Leo is also about, the heart. If you get the time and the space, do dive deep into the defined heart or the undefined, whichever you have in your human design. But yes, the conversation is about opening the heart. We cannot love until we really allow ourselves to look at the wounds, because sadly uh, frustratingly, the love and the wounds, they all stay in the same place. Yep. So, uh, 1st August, we have the full moon in Aquarius, which has echoed elements of individuality, eccentricity, and allowing ourselves to do something for the community, to stand up for the community, to share our gifts with the community, to let ourselves be seen for the sake of the community, uh, instead of being engulfed in this, in our own insecurities and our own wounds. Because a Leo's pride can be touchy, yes, but an Aquarius is all about the collective highest good. The detachment, the aloofness of the Leo makes it very easy, makes it very simpler for the Aquarius to think about the highest good, to think about the collective good, and to do what needs to be done. Whereas for the Leo, it's more about me, my expression, my pride, my individual energy, which is beautiful until it only becomes about me. Okay. So when we have the full moon in Aquarius, it's really getting us out of that comfort zone of me and really looking at the bigger picture in the we, which is, I think, what we need to kickstart this month. Because if prior to it, the last 10 days, you have been feeling this Leo energy of like standing in your power, being seen, being heard, but whenever we want to do that, we always feel, or you want to love harder, or you want to share your passion, or you want to explore your creativity. Whenever we want to explore those perspectives, our vulnerabilities, our insecurities, our fears kind of like pop in. Yes, so I feel like this full moon in Aquarius has given us a beautiful opportunity to release everything that stands in the way of owning our individuality. Yes, on 13th August, it's a beautiful time to do something that you would like a little touch of luck. Sun conjuncts Venus in Leo. Leo is all about creativity. Leo is uh, is a very it's this energy of romance, children, inner child, play, creativity. Yes, so when we have the sun and when we have the Venus conjuncting, meeting up in Leo, it's a very beautiful energy, very lucky, very sparkly, very golden. So if you want to do something that you would prefer to have a little bit of luck involved, then 13 August should be a date you should mark in your calendars. 15th August, we have Saturn forming a semi-square with Chiron, which is already retrograde in Leo. So Saturn is the planet of restriction, responsibilities. Saturn is the planet which asks us to grow up. And squares scream out tension many times. So while it's not a complete square, it's still a semi-square, right? And Chiron is all about our personal wounds, our fears, our insecurities. So we could feel at this time that we are unable to meet our responsibilities because of our own insecurities. So again, healing happens in layers. So if there is anything that was not able to be fully released on 1st of August, it will come around right before we have the new moon in Leo on 16th August. So this is 15th August when we are experiencing this square, and it's gonna probably amplify your insecurity so that you can really look into it and really let it go before we enter 16th August, which is the new moon in Leo. So the new moon is all about the fresh beginning, okay? This is a new energy. This is really, really juicy, really fresh. In many, many countries, it's this energy of summers, but it's really this energy of the sun is out in the sun, being seen fully in who you are. And people like to wear really bright clothes at this time. They want to go out, they want to celebrate, so this new moon in Leo really brings this energy. It is also forming an aspect. So it is, this new moon in Leo is squaring Uranus in Taurus. So while this new beginning is centered around love, romance, self-expression, creativity, inner child like playing, all the Leo stuff. Like it's gonna be like in full proportion. It's really a beautiful time to again do and start something new. 16th August, but because it's forming a square with Uranus and Taurus, it is also going to bring an element of surprise, an element of being a rebel, or like something sudden which causes you to move into this new beginning, something which is surprising, something which is out of the blue, and something which encourages you and gives you that nudge to move forward and begin that new cycle or start a new momentum. So yes, the universe is gonna be like really doing what it can to give you that little nudge to start a new hobby, or to start dating, or to plan something around having children, or to taking a holiday, just doing something romantic and something fun and something just very vibrant. And yes, I feel like because Chiron is in retrograde right now, we all are, our insecurities and our vulnerabilities are being amplified. So it's not that easy to have that Leo confidence, which can sometimes otherwise come so easily and quickly. So that's why I feel like the universe is doing what its best can to give us that confidence to take that leap of faith, because Leo is also about taking that leap of faith. 23rd August, we have Mercury going retrograde, which is why I said second half of the August, things are gonna take a little, like we're gonna have the Leos. So yeah, 23rd August is also when we enter the Virgo season, and that's also when Mercury goes retrograde in Virgo. So Mercury is the planet of communication and technology. So backups, please back up around that time. Virgo is also the sign of perfectionism. Virgo is also the sign of overthinking, letting go. So all these lessons, while Mercury retrograde will, yes, take us to another trip to the past. We already have been going through so many memory lanes from the past because of Venus retrograde. Now we have the Mercury joining in to show us the past, to show us the loopholes in the past, to re-examine the past. And I feel like sometimes it can get really like, how many times do I need to just look at the same thing over and over again? But I feel like instead of looking at it from this perspective, look at that it is being shown to you because there's a new perspective to be have. I feel like we can only move forward as much as we are ready to release from the past. You can only manifest or move forward as much as you are willing to release the past. So if you still have anger or resentment or sorry, or stuff from the past cockblocked, it's gonna show up so that you can let it that go. So really like, and I feel like show up to have a new perspective on it. Nothing changes until you look at it from a different perspective. Yes, we can't go and change the past, but when we change the way in which we look at it, the whole story changes. And suddenly the resentments that you've had, the shadows that you've had, the guilts you have, the regret that you've had, it all kind of like has an opportunity to melt away sometimes, which obviously then gives you an opportunity to quantum leap into the future. As I said, you can move as fast as quickly you can release the past. Yes, so when you look at things from a different perspective in this Mercury retrograde, so don't like hold yourself back when past people, past memories, past communications pop up again. See what it has to show you. Okay, look at it from this objective place instead of taking it personally or getting mad about it. See how can you, like, what's new here now that you have moved forward in time, now that this thing from the past is coming up or is showing up. Okay, what's new here? What's a different perspective that's like coming through right now? Because Virgo is also a very, very analytical sign. Okay, so it can really hone into the details and look into the details, which is probably you might have missed before. Sometimes we're not able to read between the lines. Sometimes we're not able to see the story as it was because we're too caught up in other things. We're too caught up in the emotions. But now some time has passed. Now when you review that old thing, it can probably make more sense. Likewise, it's the same with your projects. So yes, it's the same thing with your relationships, but it's also the same um, with your projects. When you look at old projects from a new eyes, a lot of times you can see details which you missed completely earlier. You can correct it, you can course correct, you can redesign, you can renovate, like these like that's why the retrograde is there, right? It's a time of redoing things from a different perspective. So yeah, I know that I'm gonna like definitely bookmarking this time period for me to redo my membership, because I know that I need a fresh lens, a fresh perspective to look at it. So yeah, think about in your life what project or what thing it is that you would want to look at it from a different perspective, and you will have that ability to zoom in, to correct, to redefine with that Virgo energy there, right? Because just don't get too caught up in perfectionism. Remember, the idea is to learn from that energy, to let go of perfectionism, and to see things in a way which probably you missed earlier. Yep. And then finally, on 28th August, we have Uranus also joining the retrograde party in Taurus up until January 2024. So, yes, we have one more planet going retrograde. Uranus is, again, I just want to like really emphasize that retrogrades are not a bad time. Yes, things do become slower because you are supposed to gather up fragments from the past or gather up keys from the past, I feel, to unlock the future. If you do not have these, so I don't really like to be blaming the retrogrades or blaming any cosmic events, because I feel like it's fully aligned to where you're going, to your manifestations. Like, I don't feel like it's a bad event per se. Yep. It's just like saying yeah, like everything serves a reason and a purpose. It's just how we choose to look at it. Yes. So Uranus is the planet of, as I said, sudden events. Yeah. Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus for the past few years, and it has really been like this rebellious sign. Ask any Taurus in your sign and they would know what surprises and rebel energy has been swirling around in their life. So as Uranus now goes retrograde in Taurus, now we're going to be a little less rebellious. Yep. So while we've had this thing to just be different, and this thing to just do different things, and to just stand out and to be a rebel, sometimes we can be a rebel with a cause. And this Uranus in retrograde is happening to show us, is that correct? Have you been rebelling for a cause or without a cause? So this time we can have a little more conservative approach to things. So just be mindful that you're not too conservative, but also at the same time use this energy to just like explore, why do we hold back from spontaneity? Why do I hold back from being rebellious? Why do I hold back from standing out? So if you're somebody who's been resisting this energy, then this is a great time to examine, why have I been resisting life? Because life is spontaneous most of the times. Yes. Finally, on 30th August, we have the second full moon of this month. We have the full moon in Pisces, and Pisces is the sign of spirituality, faith. It's about surrendering. It's about surrendering into the unknown. It's the realms of that what you cannot see, imagination. Yes. But also at the same time, as a Pisces sun, I always feel it's not even imagination, it's like the real reality. Ask a Pisces about it and they'll tell you what that really means. But it's essentially like just seeing life in a way in which you're not able to see in your day-to-day life. We are so used to trusting, of having faith on just what you can see, what you can touch, what you can hear. But the full moon in Pisces really comes to reestablish and to rekindle that faith in the unknown, that faith in the spirit, in God as well. Because yeah, you cannot touch and feel or see God, but so many of us really, really believe in it. Yes, we believe in the universe, in something greater than who I am. Yes, or for some of you it could be your higher self. For some of you it could be your intuition. Whatever for you, however that may represent, however that may come up for you, this full moon in Pisces is really a beautiful opportunity to let go of control. Because I feel like, as I said, when we are standing in a power, we just have a habit of just approaching power from a lens of just, controlling. And yes, we will be tested throughout August, but with this full moon in Pisces, we'll be really asked, just let go of control, surrendering, and seeing what happens when you actually establish that faith, that the dreams that you've planted. So, you've planted some seeds in the new moon. The full moon Pisces will really what happens when you actually can have faith in those dreams. What happens when you can actually have trust that what you have sown shall reap. And I feel like this is also this energy of yes, you can water the plant, yes, you can take care of the plant, but at the same time, it's divine timing. At the same time, the sun will do what it needs to do, the soil will do what it needs to do, the moon will do what it needs to do, the life in itself will do what it needs to do, right? And that's the same with us. We can put in the work, we can do what we need to do, we can put in the action, we can take the steps, and then surrender. We surrender to something bigger, greater, higher, and we let it meet us 50%. And it's not easy in a world which just teaches us to just go and grab things. We are learning that, how to release that control, and how to anchor into that energy of I have faith, and so I can relax. Yeah, because there's only so much we can do with that control, with that pushing, with that forcing, right? The full moon Pisces comes as this really gentle, this wave washing over the chaos. Just take a nap. So yeah, it's also a beautiful time to actually do take a nap, to actually write down your dreams, because Pisces does communicate through other realms, signs, synchronicities. So yes, that's energy as we end the month. It's a very interesting time right now, and I'm so actually really happy that I've been doing these videos, because it gets me to really I have been following the moon cycles and all these energies for the past 5 years, and doing these videos gets me to anchor into it even more fully. So I really hope you benefit out of it really deeply in some shape or form. Do let me know if you do. I love to know the impact. I love to know, yes, the impact. So please do let me know. And I'm sending you a big warm hug for this month. If you need any more resources to resource yourself, I have free meditations. I have lots of tools. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can listen to the free meditations. And yeah, if you would want to have a personal session with me, you can check out all the ways in which you can do that. And what else? Yes, if you would want a natal chart report or a human design report for yourself, then you can choose a one-on-one reading with me, or you can do You can purchase a guidebook, which is a 50 plus pages guidebook in which I break down every bit of your human design or astrology chart. And it's like this piece that you can come back to when you feel lost, when you feel disconnected, when you feel I need to remember who I am. Yeah, because it's so easy to forget in this time. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love. What else? I'll see you next month. Take care. And yes, I will have all the signs readings as well. So stay tuned for that.